Good evening. It is Thursday, October 20th, 2011. It's Infowars Nightly News. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be another incredibly important news broadcast tonight. It is with great sadness that I tell the viewers of this program that, unfortunately, we've been right all along about the globalist plans for this world and for our families. A global depression is being orchestrated. The entire West is being shredded and turned into a high-tech police state. An iron curtain of tyranny is descending upon our society. My one goal is to light bushfires, or brush fires, as Thomas Jefferson said, in the minds of men and women everywhere, to recognize liberty versus tyranny. Coming up at the end of the news tonight, we've put together a piece dealing with just a small snapshot of subliminal messages in Disney cartoons, in magazine ads, Sharpie commercials, TV shows demonizing Ron Paul with subliminals. Very important report. It's just a small snapshot that we're going to be breaking down coming up at the end of this newscast this evening. Also, I did a working vacation down at the Texas-Mexico border, and I'm going to break down some of what happened there. The fear of the cartels, Fast and Furious, our own government arming the cartels, and in federal court admitting that they allow them to ship narcotics into the country. Then the Border Patrol uses that as a pretext to search the general public and search citizens. They wanted to search our RV, and I had a confrontation with them. At the same checkpoint a few weeks ago, I had a confrontation with them. But this time, things got a lot more heated. And, of course, the Border Patrol itself has been caught shipping drugs into the country and is named in the Fast and Furious documents being involved, allowing the guns to be shipped into Mexico and cocaine into the country. Now, does that mean the individual Border Patrol agents are bad? No, I'm sure most of these people are totally innocent. I'm sure all the guys that were stopping my RV aren't involved in this. But they're stopping Alex Jones and my family and treating me like I'm a criminal, guilty until proven innocent. And that's outrageous. So we're going to be breaking that down coming up as well. But first, let's get to tonight's first big story. Muammar Gaddafi, after 40-plus years of rule of the North African country of Libya, reportedly has been killed. And it looks just like Gaddafi. We know he did have some body doubles being marched out, beaten, and then shot in the head after his convoy was reportedly bombed from the air by NATO forces. Now, this could be true. The problem is the bin Laden thing was totally fake. That's been confirmed. We have a government that lies about WMDs. We have a government that has been caught lying over and over again. And Hillary Clinton, who was a congenital liar, has now showed up in Libya. We don't know if any of this is true. And so we'll continue to track this as it unfolds. They've also reportedly hid Gaddafi's body. Has been taken to a secret location, perhaps Madame Tussauds wax museum. I'm not sure, but reportedly he begged for his life and then was killed execution style. So that's basically it for Muammar Gaddafi. But we were told a few months ago he was killed inside his compound in Tripoli. We were also told 5 months ago he flew out to Venezuela. We were also told that Saddam Hussein's sons were killed 3 or 4 times before they actually were. We were told Anwar al-Awlaki was killed 5 times before the latest killing. So, again, with known liars telling us something, who knows if it's true or not. But if it is computer-morphed footage of him being killed, it's certainly better than your average video game. And Gaddafi did swear to fight to the end. So my gut, just watching the video, tells me it's real. And my gut has never been wrong. So, bon voyage, Muammar Gaddafi. I guess they say death to tyrants, but you were such a little tyrant compared to the New World Order. And now they've put al-Qaeda in control of Libya and given them a bunch of shoulder-fired missiles. And now I have to give my rights up, I'm told, because of that. And moving on to that, we're told that the first TSA domestic checkpoints in the nation have been set up in Tennessee. The problem is, in this little news package we're about to play, over 2 years ago, TSA, running 14 other federal agencies, including U.S. Army, pulled over whole families, cars, shut down traffic for hours. The governor said, hey, you don't have authorization, and the governor of Tennessee was told to go to hell. The governor in charge now, though, thinks this is all, I guess, a great idea, and they're reporting that the TSA is not only going to pull you and your family over, but they are going to have to go ahead and grab your genitals. And if you go to a football game, NFL, they're going to grab your genitals. It's part of your slave training, teaching you you're guilty until proven innocent, and only your government can be trusted. Break-ins on the radio saying don't trust your neighbors, only trust the troll, Napolitano. Walmarts and 9,000 other locations, don't trust your neighbors, terrorists are everywhere, only trust Homeland Security, that are actually known terrorists, and got the underwear bomber on the plane on Christmas Day confirmed. It's this message of trust us. We're going to set checkpoints up all over the country. Just amazing that this is happening. And when we come back from this piece, we're going to get into Senator Orrin Hatch says TSA forced him to go through body scanners. I have witnessed people refusing at a California airport to go through body scanners and being ordered to be microwaved. And, of course, it's also really radiating the TSA workers who are getting thousands of times what the public gets in radiation. But perhaps the little uniforms the potbellies are wearing protect them from that. So here is your American nightmare. The TSA's been on the streets for years, but now they're just basically announcing it in the news. They're also at high school proms. This is Checkpoint USA, where you and your family are driving down the highway, and a bunch of state police under TSA command, ICE is there, the Army's there, all looking at you like predators, like you've done something wrong, swarming on their enemy, the American people, all with their little drill sergeant hats on. And get your baby out of that baby seat. I'm searching this vehicle. Get your butt over there, American slave. As they get ready to take us into the full depression. This is the total breaking of the American people's will ahead of forced inoculation, gun confiscation. That's where it all leads. Let's go to this report.
Tennessee is now the first state ever to work with the TSA to deploy a simultaneous counterterrorism operation statewide.
You know, this was a massive operation, really bringing all federal, state, and local agencies together to not only do random searches, but also create an army of agents on wheels.
Friday, listeners pointed out local news saying the Army was going to be out, regular Army running checkpoints, searching citizens with police. The governor got called, our listeners called.
The Whiteville Police Department had plans to conduct a seatbelt checkpoint on Saturday, April 4th at Highway 64 within the city limits of Whiteville. The checkpoint was planned to be in conjunction with Homeland Security and the 251st Military Police in Bolivar.
Representative from Tennessee, District 80. Sir, thank you for coming on with us.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, Alex.
You bet. Now, we played the clip earlier of you on a local news station talking about Army checkpoints. The governor found out, thanks to you and others, and canceled it. Can you just, in a nutshell, tell us exactly, specifically, what was going on?
Yes, I can. First of all, I have got to check. Now, I don't have concrete facts, but I don't think the military has, first of all, any jurisdiction to be checking seatbelts. When you look at the fact of a military unit being out, your daughter, my wife, or someone driving through a roadblock with all of these local officials, the Army and everybody out there, I think it's just going to scare people to death. I think our local and state officials have the staff when needed to check seatbelts, to do a seatbelt check without the Army getting involved, and I just don't think it's a good idea.
Well, obviously, sir, I don't know if you've heard, but yes, it still violates posse comitatus. They haven't completely removed that 1878 law. We know in Mexico and communist China they have troops on the streets. This is a sign of a banana republic, of a third world police state, so that we don't want that. But the larger issue here is that they've announced Homeland Security wants to put 20,000 regular Army troops to patrol America. The Naval War College, the Army War College has said their new job will be engaging us, combat with the American people to stop an insurrection against the banks. So, A, are you aware of that? B, can you tell us specifically what units, why the Army was going to be out running checkpoints?
Well, I got this news late on Friday, and when I got the news, I immediately jumped on it to try to call some local authorities that I knew first to see what was going on. And when I made the call, I found out at that point in time that the governor had already made the decision to cancel this, and which I was very proud of that. But I am not aware of Homeland Security doing this. I did hear that they would be involved in this roadblock issue on last Friday.
Tuesday, Tennessee was the first to do this simultaneously at 5 weigh stations and 2 bus stations statewide. They're recruiting truck drivers like Rudy Gonzalez into the First Observer Highway Security Program to say something if they see something.
Not only truck drivers, but cars, everybody should be aware of what's going on the road.
It's all meant to urge every driver to call authorities if they see something suspicious.
Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security.
We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
The airport adventures, which they now admit are going nationwide with the Viper teams at bus stops, train stops, the streets, shopping malls, random vans, sending you through body scanners, biometrically scanning 360 your naked body.
Now, TSA agents are on the interstates fighting terrorism with visible intermodal prevention and response, or Viper operations. The Tennessee Highway Patrol is checking trucks with drug and bomb-sniffing dogs during random inspections.
The bottom line is this: if you see something suspicious, say something about it.
Now, again, that's all the rollout for the public. If you saw the news articles we wrote in 05 and before that, in Texas, in Tennessee, in Florida, Michigan, California, they have Marines out searching families on Sunday afternoon. I mean, I'll hear in like Northern California about Marines tearing cars apart. And then I'll go check and call local papers, and they go, yeah, but we're not going to talk about that. And then later it comes out, you're driving down the road, you pull up, Marines come over with sidearms and get your kids out of the car. And that's all in police state for the rise of FEMA. But they say, oh, TSA's out checking trucks for bombs. Just randomly pick a state, randomly, that's guilty until proven innocent. That's the opposite of the Fourth Amendment. And they're just doing it. Just like when they have TSA stick their hands down your pants. Now they say they're going to be at malls. I mean, this is so incredible. But now they're advertising it all over the news. Now they're getting ready for the main rollout. And we're going to get to, again, a clip of what happened to my family. 98 miles from the Mexico border. I never went to Mexico. They're talking about building these past 100 miles in now. They've got them in the north as well. All across the country, in Minnesota and Vermont and Maine and Washington State. 100 miles in, they'll have a Border Patrol pull you over. And it has nothing to do with checking immigration status. It's all about, quote, do you have drugs? And again, the government's been caught over and over again bringing drugs in. That's just their excuse to, A, train you that federal police are on the streets of America, unconstitutional, and B, to condition you to accept having your car searched without a warrant. Remember just 5 years ago, Bush said, oh, we're not spying on you without warrants. Now they just admit they are. I mean, this is so nightmarish. Now, Orrin Hatch said that, he flies frequently, senator, and he said, I'm a senator. You can't make me do this. They said, you get